the box came damaged. It's all been taped over again. I'm assuming it was the shipping company that damaged it. At least one thing I can tell is missing. There should be 2 of these. I know it seems like only seconds ago, but I just got back from Greensboro, North Carolina. I ran all the way to get this box. And it supposedly has the right axle inside. And I want to open it in front of you so that you can see. And I suppose you're going to believe that. I had it delivered. All right, let's open this. Put my glasses on so I don't cut my fingers off. All right, this is supposed to be 5/8 inches long, or wide, and 17 inches long, and it's certainly wider and thicker than the other one. And then that's exactly what it is. All right, so this, let me give you an idea. And in case you're hearing that rumbling, that's thunder. It's just about ready to probably let go here in a minute. So this goes through here. And remember those 4 washers? One goes here. Here comes the rain. One goes, oops, excuse me. Wrong side. One goes here. This is going to go through the middle. Got a little burr there. Hold on. In the description below this video, there are links to most of the items used in many of my videos. They are there so you can locate them in case you are interested. Let's say this should happen to you. You get this, and it goes all the way through except for the last one. Only because there's some burrs around the opening. What do? Don't panic. Just a hair more. There we go. So if that happens to you, either get a drill bit, one that's just under that size and kind of ream it a little, or this is a stepper drill bit, and it worked just fine. Okay, let's do that again. Bar goes through the middle. Those 4 washers you got, one goes here, one goes here. A wheel goes like this. A washer goes on the outside. And one of these hats goes over the edge. Okay? That makes sense? Does to me. It's easiest to try to probably get one of these over one end and then do the other end later. And I'll show you why. So we want to get one of these on the end. Just don't do both of them that way. Okay? So we take the bar, we put one washer on next to the hat. Then we put the wheel on, and you want the long end sticking towards here. Think of it this way. Here's the tire valve. I want this pushing out so that I could put air in the tire if I needed to. Okay? And then we put another washer on the other side. Then we slide it on through. And then we put a washer. You almost caught me doing the wrong thing, just like I said not to do. Put the other washer. So before I tap this hat on, you have the hat, you have one washer, you have the wheel, you got a washer, goes through the upper supports, you put a washer here, the wheel on, and the washer on, and now we're going to tap this on, right? And then we'll be done. Well, wrong. And the reason why, that's what the directions say. But remember I said I was going to do something different? So I'm not going to use those. And I'll show you what we got to do. So don't forget to subscribe or give me a thumbs up. Click on the bell, share with your friends, or leave comments and questions below. Remember this? That's my old dolly, the original dolly. There's something on here that I want. 2 wheels identical to the ones that I have. Now I believe that Harbor Freight sells probably these same wheels, or somebody else does, but I have them, so this is what we're going to do. I want these wheels off, and I'll show you why. There's a cotter pin through this one, unlike the hi-hat that's on the other one. We bend the cotter pin straight. My hand's probably in your way, so you can't see too much, but this isn't rocket science here. I'm just straightening out a cotter pin, if I can get it to straighten. Come on. There we go. Okay, pins out, washers off, pull off the tire. There's a little spacer. Pull the tire off, get the other spacer. Pull the axle off. And it's got an extra washer. And now I'm really curious. Well, I didn't realize this at the time, but the axle off of this one is the same size as the new axle, 17 inches. However, these have holes drilled in them, and then they had a cotter pin in it. So I could use either one. I didn't have to wait all this time and run all the way to South Carolina to go get one of these. All right, so we have this off, but what I wanted out of this deal was the 2 tires. So we can get rid of these. Let me get this back out of the way. So now I have 4 tires. And if you look at them, they look like 4 brand new tires, and they are. These tires probably only wheeled that old dolly maybe total of 35 feet altogether. So they're good to go. And I'll show you why I want all this. So we'll put this back up. What am I going to do? The cap is on, a washer is here, a washer's on the inside. I'm going to slide a tire on. I will put another washer here. I'm going to put a tire here. I will put another washer eventually here. I will push this all the way through with another washer that will be up on this side. A washer here. There we go. A washer here. Another wheel here. A washer here. And then the little hat shaped thing is going to get tapped on the end. Now, to keep these from rubbing to each other, I'm going to put a space in between here, a spacer. This is 3/4 inch schedule 40 pipe, okay? And take those off just to show you. This will go in between. It's not a tight fit, but these were not a tight fit either. That's what these original spacers were. It's just to keep the tires separated. So, in between here, I'm going to cut one of these. And trying to get those dimensions is going to be time consuming because I'm going to have to do it cut and try it and cut it and try it and cut it and try it. And when I get it all done, I'll give you the measurement should you decide to do this, because it's not easy to get in there. And how do I cut the pipe? If you've ever seen one of these, it's PVC cutter. This will cut it straight, pretty straight. Won't leave all the jagged edges that you get when you use a hacksaw, a saw of some kind. But if you don't have one of these, those work just fine. Just take a little piece of sandpaper or something and rub it on the end and get all the burrs off. Give me a couple of minutes. I'm going to pull this off and measure and cut this and try to get it to the right length. All right, it's starting to rain. We had some really, really close lightning right outside the door here. Scared the daylights out of me. But let me go on. Here is what we will look like when we're done. But let me disassemble this so I can show you. Now, what I'm also doing is I'm using the axle that was on the other dolly, only because it had a cotter pin in here, and because I am doing this as an experiment, if it works, I'm going to leave it that way, but I want to make sure that I can take this apart where these hat-looking things are kind of difficult once you bang them on the end. So on this end, I've got the cotter pin, and then I've got a washer, then I've got a wheel, and I blew all these up to make sure that they're pressurized to the right amount so I don't have to fuss with it later. And I put a washer here, okay? Now, I'm going to put another washer here. Now I'm going to start putting on the other wheels. Remember, this long side goes up against here. So I slide that on. Then I'm going to put one washer in here. Now my spacer, I hope you can read that, 3.25 inches long is exactly what you need. And I cannot get my hands in here to put the washer, after I put this on, to put the washer here, because this is recessed and I can't get in there. It's not a big deal. I think that that washer isn't there. Matter of fact, in the other dolly they didn't even have washers inside where in each place of the tire on each side, but I'm trying to do that. So I'm going to back this up. I hope you can see that better. I'm going to back this up so this barely hangs on here. And the reason is I'm going to put this on and I got to hold it like this in between the same time. Get it over the axle and get it down in here. Okay, now I'm going to push it on the thing so it doesn't fall off. And then I push this through. Okay, and then just get a tiny bit of axle sticking out the end of this tire because there's a little bit of space here, and I can put another washer here. I don't really know how critical all the washers are, but I just want to put them on while I can. I only have one more washer that came either from the old dolly or the new dolly. So I had gone to the store and bought some. These are 5/8 inch center hole, and so is these. But when you put them together, this washer is a lot bigger. I got this at Lowe's. Maybe Home Depot carried one that looks like that, I don't know. But my point is, it doesn't make any difference that these are bigger. They're not in the way of anything. I'm gonna slide it on here. I slide this wheel on here. Here comes some thunder. That one was pretty mild compared to the one that happened a little while ago. And then I'm gonna put a washer on over the outside, and I'm gonna put my pin in. And then, yeah, I think you can see, I'm gonna spread the pin. So it can't come out. And they roll really well. They don't touch each other with that piece in between, that little spacer, but they roll really well. Now, what we didn't do before, because we didn't have this part done yet, was put the rest of the handle together. And if you remember this part, this goes, now remember that it's got to be up, so don't put it upside down, because you're going to hang on to the handle like this. So we put this here, put this in here, line up the little holes. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get this off of here. Put it through. Now you could go over the top, you could go over the bottom. I don't think it makes any difference. I'm gonna go over the top. Maybe if it came loose, it'd be less chance of falling and losing it, but these are pretty tight, so I can't see that happening. All right, and we are done. I'm really hoping that this extra set of tires will really support this on the lawn better, and I'll be able to roll better, and that this will work. Now, the dolly is done. I like the way how it looks with the wheels. My guess is that that should work. I'll be surprised if it doesn't. I wish that we had the axle to put this together all in one sequence, but I guess that's the way how it goes. Now, what happens next? Well, we're never going to know whether we like this or not until we try to use it and launch the boat. If you saw David's videos, he did 3 different levels of primitive boat launches. One was fairly level to the water, one was a little bit rougher to get into, and then one was, he called it the most difficult. I remember the words he used. The most difficult is like what I have behind the house. It's not rough, it's all manicured lawns, but it goes down fairly steep, and that's not a big deal going down. I think I can do that as long as I don't slide right down into the water, but getting it back up again is a whole different story. As you saw, David struggled a little bit trying to get it up the difficult boat launch area that he went to. He used rope and pulleys and that kinds of things, and I'm thinking that I will have to do the same. But I know it's a little bit hard to believe. I used to be younger than I am now, so pulling it up that hill is a concern to me. Let me say I have a plan, maybe a trick. to get it up that hill easier for me. You're going to have to stay tuned and try and watch and see what that is. If you liked the video, please push that button and subscribe. Or below that, push the bell. Or share this with your friends. Or leave some comments or questions below. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next. Bye now.